Hey you guys, welcome back to our channel. It's me, Amber. I'm super excited to have you here and really excited to be posting our first video in 2020, which is crazy to me. You guys know we post regularly here on the channel, but the last few weeks, I really just been spending time with my family and enjoying the holidays and taking that time off. And in the meantime, I've been setting up this new studio, which is where I am right now. And we still have a little ways to go. So I wanted to create a studio that I could film permanent makeup training videos here for our channel at home, so that I can make more content more frequently for you guys. So I was in here setting up and I realized I wanted to release a new video ASAP. And I have basically this video is going to be a live demonstration of saline tattoo removal on one of my lovely clients. We're actually working on her 4th session, which is exciting to me because I can show you guys what that process looks like. I'll include before pictures and then healed pictures from along the way so you can see what this looks like when it's actually done and how it works. And here's a quick look at my products that I'm going to be using today. I use the Lift solution. I get that from girlsinc.com. And I'm also going to show you guys my tray setup here, which is pretty simple, just Q-tips, cotton rounds, a little numbing gel, and the Lift solution. I love this gel because it's a super natural product and it has a good thick consistency. Here's a picture of my client before, a year out from microblading. That's when we started removal, and then healed after 3 sessions. So this is what she looked like before I started this video today. Going back in time a little bit, this was her before and then after 2 sessions of lift removal. All right, let's fast forward to today. So again, this is healed after 3 sessions of removal. And here she is after today's session. So let's go ahead and jump into how we got to this point. I'm going to show you guys the full removal process from her 4th session. Okay, so it's time to start. As you'll see throughout the course of the video, my bed and tray setup is exactly the same as if I were going to tattoo, because that's essentially what we're doing with saline removal. We are tattooing the skin, but implanting the removal solution into the skin. So that means that you're going to have to protect yourself and your client from bloodborne diseases and infection and all of that stuff. So you want to make sure you have your gloves on and you're following all of your normal protocols. Now, if you're interested in learning our saline tattoo removal methods, we teach our class in person, but also online. Our online class launches on February 1st, 2020, and it'll be a full in-depth online training complete with quizzes, demonstration videos, and certification. So you can get more information by sending us an email or visiting www.pmucoach.com. So the basics of removal essentially involve using specific hand movements to open up the skin and implant the removal gel into the skin. So this does a couple of things. It's going to open up the skin and allow bleeding to happen and ink to release from the skin right away in some cases. Okay, so how many of you guys remember osmosis in science class, like back in middle school? Terrible time. I don't remember much about it. However, it's still true and it totally works. So the saline solution is going to cause the pigment molecules to lift up and out of the skin through the scabs. So when the scabs fall off, the ink that remains will be either gone or significantly lighter. Lastly, as the body continues to heal, it will continue to eliminate ink naturally through its normal processes, and the color will continue to lighten for weeks to come. Now let's go over some frequently asked questions that I get all the time about saline tattoo removal. So I'm often asked if any body tattoo or permanent makeup tattoo is eligible for saline tattoo removal. So the short answer is that most are, but sometimes there are exceptions to that rule. So there are definitely certain things that we cannot remove with saline removal. And we go over all of those in our training class. So that's super important that you take a class on this subject. However, generally speaking, they have to be pretty small and the skin needs to be in good condition. This seems like a good time in the video to answer this question because, as you can see, my client is totally comfortable and laughing and smiling. So as far as if it hurts or not, that's very subjective and dependent on the person. Some people have higher pain tolerances than others. I think it compares to what it felt like going into the skin, as long as it was done correctly in the first place. So it stings a little bit. I mean, truly, it just feels like a tattoo. So that's what you can expect when you get removal done. All right, I'm going to go back in and answer some more frequently asked questions, but at this point in the video, we are done with the right brow, and it is just soaking in the solution. We're going to go ahead and repeat the process on the left brow. Similar to traditional tattooing and permanent makeup, when done correctly, the removal process should not cause scar tissue at all. In fact, I have found in my experience that doing removal and the needling of the skin, that actually causes improvement in scar tissue in a lot of cases. So if a person came in with permanent makeup they needed removed, a lot of times they have scar tissue because it was done wrong. And after a couple of sessions of removal, I have seen significant improvement in the scar tissue in and of itself, similar to how microneedling can be used to improve the appearance of skin. Also, nothing that we're doing here should impact their hair follicles, so there should be no hair loss or issues with hair growth after the process as a result of removal. One of the most frequent questions I'm asked is how many sessions am I going to need and how long do I have to wait between sessions, which is understandable because most people are in a hurry to really get through this process. It's not super pleasant while you're healing and you really just want to get everything behind you. So that being said, you have to understand that we're tattooing the skin and it is a very involved process and we need at least 6 weeks between sessions for your skin to really be able to heal. As far as how many sessions you're going to need, that's going to depend on what you have going on, how much ink is saturated, if you're trying to get them removed completely or just lightened for a cover-up. So it's very, very dependent on your situation. However, I would say that for a lot of people for permanent makeup, they're looking at least 2 to 3 sessions in most cases. And then in some cases, we're looking at a lot more. So the important thing for artists is we cannot ever predict for sure with certainty because we don't know what's going on under the skin. With time, you will become an expert based on your own experience. I'm often asked if removal is something that someone really needs to take a class for, and my answer is hands down, absolutely yes. This is not something that you would have learned technique-wise from a microblading or a powder brow or lip class because the techniques are going to be very, very different. And the process involves lots of tips and tricks. You're going to save yourself a huge learning curve if you learn from someone who has kind of mastered things. It's also worth noting that the removal process isn't as fun as getting your brows done. So it can be expensive, it doesn't feel amazing, and the healing process is unattractive at times. So you really, really want to make sure that when you're offering the service to someone, it's going to work or else they're going to be unhappy with you. And so you really want to take a class from someone who can give you the techniques and the products that are going to help you get your clients' results. Okay, so we're wrapping up this session. We're going to go in and do a final pass on those really stubborn spots that have more color than the rest. There aren't very many of those left, but we want to try to get her a nice even lift. So you're going to see here in a second that there is more bleeding and that is very, very normal. We're just really wanting to open those areas up and give that spot lots of space for the pigment to lift up. And our last frequently asked question is, what is the healing process like? So the short answer is it's going to be somewhat similar to normal aftercare and healing from a typical permanent makeup or tattoo procedure. But what you can typically expect is 10 to 14 days of scabbing. It is more intense probably than a typical procedure because we did a lot of heavy work. There's going to be a lot of bleeding and they can get pretty gnarly. So you do want to be prepared for the fact that they are going to look a little bit gross, and it's very important that you do not disturb those scabs. They need to stay as heavy and dark and dry as they need to be until they're ready to fall off on their own so that the process can occur and totally work. And this is about how most people will look when they leave: a little pink, a little swollen, and a little bit of blood showing, which will continue to improve over the course of the next few hours. Thank you so much for watching our removal video. If you would like more information on training, remember to reach out to us by email at info@pmucoach.com or check out our training classes at www.pmucoach.com, and I will see you guys in our next video.